First person singular, views expressed are those of the author. Ellen Ritch recalls a link between Innisfree and Coventry.
Once a month, for a dozen years before the recent plague, I read poetry to the residents of Sunshine Villa, an assisted living memory centre. Poetry, like music, mysteriously gives pleasure to those suffering from various stages of cognitive decline. I recited accessible contemporary works, especially the wit and wisdom of Billy Collins and Mary Oliver. Occasionally, to the listener's delight, I'd throw in bawdy verse, invariably lighting up eyes and kindling romantic reminiscence. I read poems that may have last been heard in high school, often including the lovely lyrical cadence of Yeats' Lake Isle of Innisfree. Once, before I'd even reached the cabin of clay and wattles made, I grew aware that Pat, a shyly silent woman, was joining in, word for word. She even seemed to mimic my strange accent, first formed in the English Midlands, then modified by migration and decades in California. Afterwards I congratulated Pat and asked her how she knew the poem and where she'd grown up. Embarrassed, she could not answer. Some weeks later I met her daughter. I learned that Pat was born in my hometown, Coventry, a decade before I was. She'd married a GI and come to Santa Cruz soon after the war. The words Innisfree and Coventry became mantras in our subsequent one-sided conversations. We would say them together, rejuvenating memories.
Ellen Ritch is a cultural geographer living in Santa Cruz. If you would like to share your opinion or stories, send 240 words to firstpersonsingular@ksqd.org. For First Person Singular, this is Matilda Rand.